Welcome to the stream. This is the first time I'm doing this, so please cut me cut me a break if it all sounds and looks like trash. Leave a comment, let me know what I can adjust, especially if you've done this before. But yeah, today we're just gonna try and make a track, or at least get as far as we can in about 30 45 minutes. Hope everybody's enjoying their Saturday night. um, I actually started a couple minutes ago, and then I just completely forgot that I didn't know how to actually stream, and so I've been figuring the last 5 minutes out how to set up the stream and everything. So we're gonna start with this melody that I kind of had. It's still being edited, but this is kind of what it sounds like. It's got some edits that I need to make to it first, length and notes and stuff. The program I'm using is Logic. Um, I know that there are debates about Logic, Ableton, whatever. If you're a creator, if you're a producer, you do you. Um, I'm not gonna judge. I don't think anybody else is gonna judge. If you can make good music, do it how you've always done it. And I really don't think it matters. Uh, just editing the length of notes to make it kind of sound better. We're in B flat major. As time goes on, I think, and I do these streams more and more often, I think what I'm gonna do is I'll just start blank, and then I'll choose a loop or something, and I'll have people comment what key or what BPM or whatever kind of stuff they want to hear. That way it's kind of a collaboration. But this is just kind of an inside look. Here's how I do things. So if you've heard anything that I've produced before, here's how I do it. So here's the melody, and then I'll put it with the metronome, so you know how fast what it kind of sounds like. So it's kind of cool, kind of catchy. That's how I do it. It's we're starting with a melody, but that's not going to be our intro. So I think what I want to do is kind of find a pad over here. They're entirely. I'm familiar with these, but in the context of this song, I have no idea. So that sounds cool. It sounds basic. Lower. I don't know. I do a lot of things in fifths. I know that's like a cardinal sin in music theory. Parallel fifths are like not a thing. But this is pop music. This is EDM music, so it's exactly what we do. Some of these are cool. I'll have to earmark these for later. Super dramatic. Also, FYI, I'm still looking, if anybody has any tips, I'm still looking to set up so that I can use my speakers and a microphone at the same time without things feeding back. Because I don't like producing on headphones. I'm using Audio Technica, and they're great headphones, but I really don't like it. Spent a lot of money on these speakers, so I kind of want to use these speakers. That's too dark. I guess we'll invert it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we're going in. But for now, I'm gonna mute it just so I can kind of hear. I kind of like that chord progression. I'm gonna go with that. Wait. Come on, turn on, bro. There we go. Oops, wrong chord. It's gonna take me a couple takes. I'm not a piano player. I'm just a producer. Do I want to do? Yeah, that sounds alright. And then comes the fun part. I get to quantize all this and make it sound in time. If you're not familiar with producing, quantizing is just the electronic realignment of data so that it follows the correct numerical timing. It's too complicated to explain in one sitting, but simply put, it makes everything happen on beat. Since when we recorded it, I was a little bit off. Like I said, I'm not an experienced piano player, but I do alright. So here's kind of what the chord progression sounds like. That's not right. Something's not right there. Okay, I think I need to fix the velocity of this one. The redder it is, like the more orange it is, that's the higher the velocity is, which is just how loud the note is. The like greener it is how quiet. It goes all the way down to violet. It follows the rainbow, you know, forwards and backwards. Kind of sounds a little bit dark and ominous. I don't know if that's going to be my direct intro, but that's at least my pad, my chord progression that kind of goes with the melody. Here's what they sound like together. I'm mixing as I go, so if something sounds too loud or too quiet in a mix, have patience. I'm figuring it out. Man, I don't know. I kind of feel like the intro really should have, kind of like maybe a dark pad with a bell hitting the melody, and then we're in. I don't know. Let me figure it out. Let me see. Oops. That doesn't sound right. We're in the way lower octaves now. I'm I'm going with what title sounds cool, so I'm kind of being biased here, but. If we're in B flat major, this is our number one chord, tonic chord. We are in B flat major, at least that's what I'm gonna go with, since B flat is the first chord played. And then it goes down to F, which is 5, and up to G, which is 6, and then down to D, which is 3. It's a little bit unconventional chord progression. Usually your pop music standard kind of sounds like this chord progression. Tell me if you've heard this song before. That's every pop song ever. 1, 6, 4, 5. Doing something different today. Maybe that's what we'll do, and then I think what we'll do is we'll add some bells or something on top. I love bells. Don't know why, I just love them. So I think here we'll. It won't sound exactly like that, but that's the gist of it. I think I can even add kind of like a lower bass as an appreciator. Hang on, we'll get there. It's hard to explain what's going on in my head as I do it, but I kind of know. As I go, I kind of figure out what I want. Those are cool. Kind of do something like that, maybe. I don't know. Maybe for the verses, so I'll play. So hang on. But that'll be, instead of having the main synths and stuff there, that'll be where the those are cool bells. I know I've never heard them before. Kind of have like a kind of type vibe going in some sort of bass. These are gonna be like super grungy and super aggressive basses, but let's try it. Okay, I was wrong. Well, I'm in a higher octave, so. Maybe. Who knows? Super, super cool. That's what trance DJs pretty much do now. Is just press down one key, hold it the whole time. I do like this, so it kind of sound like. I gotta mute these right now for now. Sorry, I know the melody's catchy. So we can hear. Might be too low. Yeah, it is. Let's try that again. And let's put some automation on this first. Gonna kind of have this come in. It's a little quick. Maybe we will. It's for the first beat. Come on, cooperate. That's why. Alright. kind of lose the beat with it. Let me maybe we will switch the chords so that that's the other thing is this one isn't for whatever reason wanting to contact. Maybe we'll switch them so it's kind of in the halftime-ish feel, or not halftime, double time, because yeah, there we go. So all these can end right here. Oh, you know what? Because this needs to be up here, and this needs to be up here. Now we're getting it. And the idea is that the whole chord is hitting when the bells play, so that oops. For one more beat. And then we'll record this part, but we'll have a reverse. So hang on. That release isn't there. If you're new to the whole process, you're at least you're seeing just how much work truly does go into making these types of songs. I really don't like the understanding, especially other producers, to say, "Oh yeah, I made a beat or a song in 30 minutes," and it's like, okay, well then you didn't make a song. You just threw some loops together, because the truth of the matter is that, you know, real songs, ask any songwriter, real songs take a long time to make, and that's fine. That's why it's art. It is. Not every song is easily digestible, and for good reason. If we had every song was easily digestible, then every song would sound the same, and what's the point of having every song sound the same? The idea is that each person kind of has their own expression, or at least way of expressing themselves, and so why should they not have that? But if everybody sounds the same, they can't. So unfortunately, it takes a long time to make music, so you just gotta be patient. And see, right now, like, I gotta go listen through a long number, like a huge amount of times, just to hear all the different errors that happen during recording, and figure out how to fix them. And do I like it sound this way, or do I like it to sound that way, or what, you know? Computers are cool, but they haven't quite yet figured out how to just take music away from my brain. So let's see if this sounds now. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds nice and cool. And then what we have to do, and I don't think you're gonna be able to see this, is I'm importing files and stuff. I have a pack of files that I downloaded, samples basically, and there's reverse effects, so you'll be able to hear them, but you won't be able to see them. So that's kind of what it sounds like, and I like that one. It's really dark and creepy. I just so happen to know that that's the one, like that sounds. So this is kind of what it looks like. Basically, somebody created this and uploaded it online for free, and I downloaded it. But that's how music happens. I mean, your favorite songs will sample older songs, so. Yeah, okay. There's another effect I know I like. It's this one. Kind of needs to build up more in the beginning, but we'll figure that out when we get there. Right now, we're just getting the core basics down. And then what I'll have to do is, I want more boom than the downer. Because, yeah, I don't want. Oh, we're already clipping. That's no fun. Sometimes when you have too much going on at once, the software will clip. So, I think let's revise the intro a little bit. I don't know. Let's put a muffler EQ on it. I kind of want it to be after all that, and then just extend this and move all this back, so that basically, I don't know. I like longer intros, but sometimes you can't just come in the song. So there you kind of have it. The intro, at least, is I'm all right with it. It's got an odd number measure. So actually, what we'll do is this: we will move it all back one measure, just so that when we give ourselves headroom at the beginning, when we go to mix things, and then will also allow us to kind of start on the right number. So it's a weird long thing, but you know, whatever. That doesn't quite go with that quite yet, so maybe we won't have that in the intro. We will transition to that. For the time being, we'll leave it there and mute it so you can't hear it, but I feel like there should be some drums here, so we're gonna... Yeah, something like this. Come on. What a lot of people don't realize about EDM songs is a lot of times they have just a lot of stuff going on. They have 6 or 7 different types of snares. They have 6 or 7 different types of kicks, and it's all happening at different points. And that's just to create new environments through each part of the song. So it's tough to just, you know. So I'm gonna see what this sounds like. So you can kind of see how we're getting some type of anticipation and we're building here. You know, all I did was I took the same bell melody that I had in the intro here, and it's just literally the tonic note, the first note of each chord. It's the chord progression. It's B flat, F, G, D. That's it. And you just repeat it throughout with some percussion, with this kind of synthesizer that's adding a lower texture to it. The whole thing just kind of starts to create some anticipation in it. So listen to it again and kind of hear what am I thinking? What do I feel like should be on this again? So you definitely need some more on top of it. And I did like the sound that I had, so I'm gonna just play around. Don't know. Maybe we'll add that. I don't know. See how it sounds. Oops. I gotta do the full thing. So, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of bring it up. If it's too quiet on the broadcast, let me know so I can turn things up or whatever. But ew, did you hear all that? That's all that clipping for whatever reason. My CPU is having trouble handling it. We press on. I think there needs to be something else in the build here. Just want to slide this down. Probably get rid of this, honestly. I don't know what that's even doing. Probably doing nothing. One of the things I want to play around with that I was thinking about doing the other day is... I want Kestrel. Come on. Yeah, I want to try... Oops, that's too high. Why is this what is going on? I'm literally at the lowest possible. That doesn't even make any sense. Oh good God! It means I can't add too much more without having that issue. So it's almost have to bounce all of this and then switch to try and use Pro Tools. I guess I don't know. That would be a mess. Let's just keep going. Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna try and do, that's too high, and that's too long of a note too. Why is that so long? Come all the way back here. I think what I'm gonna try and do is create a crescendo in the timpani, so a really fast roll. Now what I'm not sure is, yeah, see that's not quite enough. It needs to be, yeah. Now, and this is the painstaking part. Painstaking part. I have to go in and adjust the velocity of each individual note. So we'll start with 0, and we'll end with the max, which is 127. Because again, long explanation, but MIDI data doesn't deal with 0 to 100. It deals with 0, 16, 32, 64, 128, and then 256. So long explanation there, but that's why I went to college, to get a degree and learn about this stuff so that I understand this. But this is the painstaking part. Painstaking, you know what? You know what I'm trying to say. I have to go through and adjust the velocity, which is how loud it is, of each individual note, and it's time consuming. And if I left this channel unmuted, you would hear, as I hit them, each individual hit. And the problem with that, of course, is then you're just hearing timpani over and over, bong, 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 and it's like, okay, I can't wait till it's done. And right about there. So this is kind of what it's supposed to sound like. We'll see how this came out, but I've done this before, but we'll see. Yeah, kind of see how it's like a nice little smooth roll. It almost sounds too exact, but you know, it's a computer. So in context, it's gonna add to the reverse effect. Might even add, because the other thing is I gotta build this out, right? But then I gotta also kind of come up with this cool little verse thing. So I'm gonna add the same thing right on top of here. Hang on. Badly at a time, but I don't know. You get excited, you get offbeat. It happens. We're not perfect. Computers are not really. But that's why we use them. So then the idea is, at the end of all this, this little thing can come in, and I think, is this sound good? We'll see. May only get an intro today, but this is how much it takes. It takes hours and days to do this stuff. So. Kind of. Yeah, kind of. Starting to see how it all comes together. I think I want to do this repetition one more time, though. That's so weird, though. That's like a... Oh, come on. It's gonna be a longer intro, but you know, I am notorious for those, unfortunately. So, here's what it sounds like in context. yeah, we're getting somewhere. Let's change the subdivision of these, which is just basically I'm saying let's change them from quarter notes to eighth notes, and that'll help a little bit. And then even in the very end here, we'll change these to 16th notes, which is even faster. Well, not even faster, just even more notes per second. And then we'll cut it. And one thing I like to do is right before I cut something, I'll add a little like roll or a trill. Producers know what I'm talking about, but if you're not a producer, basically it's the equivalent of rolling your R's in this specific percussion instrument. So it sounds like that last little. So now I just got to kind of figure out. This is all good. It's a good start. I just got to figure out where to go from here. I will say I'm not gonna be streaming for too long tonight. I think that, and I'll probably do some work after I get off the stream. This is just an idea to show you what we kind of do behind the scenes and how everything sounds and what it looks like to be really working on a song. But I don't think that I want to do an hour's worth of stream, or 2-3 hours worth of them. So if you got those kind of cool sounds, maybe we'll add some more percussion. Maybe that's what's missing. I don't quite like this kit. Don't like that one either. Oh. Okay, well. I kind of like that snare, but I've used it so much. I guess you just gotta find the signature sound right. We're just gonna add this in kind of second part, so you see what I'm talking about. Go back and edit that because my hands don't move that fast. Let's boil this down to the 64th note only because these really small notes are technically 64. I'm going at a pretty fast tempo, so. Oh, you know what? No, they're not. They're 30-second notes because I started with eighth. Yeah, that's better. Well, we're missing one somehow, but what? This doesn't look right. Oh, you're early. First of all. Second of all, you are all late. You are off. Nope, stop that. This is what I'm talking about. When you try to do everything on the computer only and not like drum machines are cool, and I'm sure they were really effective in the 80s and the 90s, but when you get down to the individual editing, they're not. Alright, cool. So we have a, whoops, forgot somebody, there you go. Kind of have a rough go of it idea here. Yeah, cool. So then, just have some other stuff to add in there. I kind of, something in those gaps there. I'll add another timpani roll later on, so you hear. Okay, something's off there. So you do have to have a really good ear and be able to listen and be able to tell something's out of key or out of tune or whatever, off rhythm or whatever. I'll be the first to admit pitched stuff is not my strength, but I can certainly dealt with it before. The idea is also I'm leaving this little gap to kind of do like kind of cool drop or fill on it, so. That's what I want to do is add a kick now. Yeah, no, some of these are just not. I'll admit I have some better. I'll have some better samples to use. I do, and I they just take so long to import stuff and do all that. So all I will do is, for now, I will do things with software instruments and then edit later. Bring that up. First of all, something is still off. Why is it off? There it is. I knew it. And this is. You know what? I'm just gonna have to import. So, again, you won't be able to see these, but you will be able to hear them. These are some pretty cool kicks that I have that I will debate which one I want to use. Nope. Nope. Wow, that was too tight. I really don't like the sound of some of these. I don't know, that one sounds alright, I guess. Yeah. Might have to be this one. The problem with using audio files versus software instrument is I have to then go in and copy and paste these at every note that I need them at. And I don't mind doing that. It's just a lot of work. So it can take away from the time, and it's just menial. So that's not quite what I wanted. The other thing about these is since they're audio files, a little known fact about audio files. Audio files are basically, sound is just a sound wave, a sine wave. And if you cut an audio clip like that off when the sine wave is not at 0, if it's in positive or negative, it clips. And it's noticeable. It just sounds really disgusting. So I want to avoid that at all costs. even smaller than that. 2, 3, da da da. Okay, so it is. I greatly underestimated the note value of this. But that means that I'm meant to do what I was talking about before, which was I have to zoom all the way in. It has to, where this note is, it has to clip there or before there. So that means I have to put it right before that wave starts again, because it has to be 0. Otherwise, there's a clip, and I'll be able to tell if I did that correctly right now. Yeah, it's pretty good. This is all easy to do in Pro Tools, but that means I'd have to make it in Logic, print it, and then export it, import it into Pro Tools, and then work with it, and that's just a lot. Over to just because add to it. We're going to add a lot of reverb to this because it's an EDM snare, and why not? This is a program, a plugin called Valhalla Reverb. The mix just means how much of the reverb can you hear. So, you know, obviously that's too much. That's too little. I want my. This is just how long does the reverb last for. I want it to be around 2.5 seconds. Pre-delay is how long does it take after the hit for the reverb to sound. I don't want this to be. I need it to be like more of a modern color, so you can hear it's a little bit brighter as the modern color is, and it's basically just a more, I don't know, a more new age sound. What space do I want to emulate? Well, I don't want to do a concert hall. It's super roomy. Our room seems alright. Really just depends on what you're looking for, but I did not. Okay, so that's what happened. These need to be the same thing as the clap one, which is that little trill I was telling you about. Yeah, there you go. But actually what we're going to do is because I think what I also want to do is kind of do like a cool little fill there. We'll also have to play with adding the melody in there, because the whole build is really supposed to happen leading into, you know, the drop, and the drop and the build both have the melody in them. I'm trying to think. Half the time I'm making music, I'm really just sitting there staring at the computer screen thinking. Where the drop will come in. So it sounds kind of cool, but what we'll do is we'll switch from this grooving thing to just a regular old. Oops. just to kind of follow it, so that way it's not muddy with the chords. So whoops. How long does it last for? A whole quarter note? Yeah, a whole measure. Okay. Double time, half time, tricky. And then that'll kind of give us some space to work with, because the texture comes from a couple different things. It comes from, like, the texture of the song kind of comes from, you know, how many sounds are you laying on top one another, and then how much rhythm, like what kind of rhythm do they have, all that kind of stuff. And so if I have these that are doing longer, you know, legato droning notes, then that gives me room to build a lot of percussion, which is more polyrhythmic or super fast repetitive rhythms. So we'll have to fix this build somewhere, but I got about 5 minutes left. Maybe I might go past an hour. We'll see how I feel. There's also only like one of you watching, so that's where it hits big and basically goes into the drop, which with a crap ton of percussion on it. You know, kind of something grooving basically. I do need to find this section right here. Percussion there? Like a snare drum there? Huh, who knows? Let's see. Oops. Yeah, that kind of works, I guess. And then of course, something I really like to do is I add the kick back in just on the last like rolling section. So you got like the, so it would go like right there. It would go like right there. And then since I have all those copied, or they should be copied. This one is not. It does not look like it is copied correctly. Cause it is not copied correctly. I'm telling you, man. Dealing with audio and Logic is tricky. Possible, but very, very tricky. Everything has to be, you know, exact, and it never is. So that's the beginning of the transient right there. Transient's a fancy word for, basically it's the beginning of the sound. It's the sound that matters. The actual kick. There's a lot of vocab that sometimes people use and they misuse it, or they don't use it at all, or whatever. But people also use things differently. So I'm sure if somebody else is in a different region and they call it something different there, that is none of my business. That is all you. You can worry about that. So what we're gonna do is basically the last part of it just has a kick rolling into it. So what I think we'll do is we'll have it do this so that we can take this last one out in the trill. So you know, that'll leave some room to do something fun on the drop. kind of see how it would go. It's pretty cool. I guess next we're gonna have to figure out, you know, some more. Just what I like to do is make sure I kind of have that intro down and everything leading up to the first drop down, because a lot of those elements come back later in the verse. And so I want to make sure like I'm kind of thorough on it. Do a couple listen throughs, just I might even. Also, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extend just this note, because it kind of cuts out weird and it just sounds super empty. So this way it just kind of keeps going. Yeah, there definitely needs to be some more stuff. Simply because the build just isn't enough of a build, so to speak. It's just kind of a, hey, we're going into a different section. It's like, okay, cool. You have no way of knowing that. So we're gonna have to work on that a little bit. I think there are some more synth effects that I could try. I didn't like this one. So the only thing about this instrument is, as you can hear, it's got a lot of bass to it, and it just keeps on going and going and going, and basically overwhelms the CPU. It's got that one it's kind of light and airy. This one just takes forever to build. I'm kind of looking for something that goes down a little bit, because what I wanna be able to like contradict the rise. So it kind of have like maybe one of these with one of these. I like that one. So we're gonna hang on. I gotta hear the whole thing in context real quick. And then that's kind of quick, so let's make that longer then. Maybe that's what we'll do is we'll just cut it off in automation there. Sounded super weird the way I said that. I have to get used to talking to nobody but myself. This is new to me. So it's kind of gonna sound like this. Yeah, pretty much. And then we will duplicate and do. So together, it kind of sounds super contradictory, but we'll start this one early. So. So like, together, obviously, it might be kind of confusing because you really can't tell which one you're hearing. First things first, let's increase the volume. So here's what they sound like together by themselves. So it's kind of like super spooky. So I almost wanted this one to drop in volume. Come on, bro, really? Why are you being difficult? This is why I can't wait to get a real like computer and track pad, whatever. I graduate in a semester, and then I am probably going to have to upgrade a lot of my equipment because it has been abused the last couple of years. I take care of my computers, but I also use them very frequently. See, on a microscopic level, that fade was not accurate, so we adjusted it. And then now what we're also going to do is bring the second half of the volume down so you can hear this more a little bit. So then, in context, let's see what that sounds like. Actually, so like that kind of sounds super spooky. So together, like in context. You know, then you can have another reverse leading into the drop here, so you have, you know, that kind of stuff. I can pick a different one later, but like, so now we kind of have the intro and the builds. I know that the way that I have this organized makes absolutely no sense to a lot of people, I'm sure, but it makes sense to me. String pad. Lead 2, and this is lead 1, and I also have, no, that's right, the chords. So this is string pad, actually this is string pad 1, and this is string pad 2. I did use the same instrument. This one is effects 2, effects 3. Actually, we'll call this one effects down and effects up, because that way I know what's going on. This is just for mixing purposes later, so I actually know what the heck's going on. And traditionally my effects are usually all together. So, all together, they have a nice little intro leading into a drop. I'm gonna have to fix that later, because I really don't like, I don't know. I've never been cool with just music starting out of the nowhere. Now the other thing I gotta toy with is whether or not I want to bring this down an octave just for the build part. Just because that might help make it build if it goes down an octave and then goes up an octave. So kind of sounds cool. So we'll see what it sounds like in context, and then if I like it there, then that'll also help with the build. And then there's some gain automation stuff I could do where I can bump up the gain, you know, plus 3 dB for the drop, just to make everything pop more. There's a lot of tips and tricks I can do. So the only thing I'm noticing is this main octave is the only octave that's in both sections, and it's the only octave that's being heard in both sections. So we'll drop it down one more octave just to see. I may have to take out this lower bit. These two are clashing right now. They're all kinds of clashing. If what I end up having to do is changing the velocity of just that line, that's fine. But either way, this top line can't be so prevalent, because if it's prevalent in both, then you're not going to notice a difference. Versus what does this octave sound like? Velocity-wise? Yeah, no, it's too high. It's too high to bring that one up. So that's all we're gonna have to do is pretty much drop that because that same octave happens twice, and if that's all you hear is a difference, that's not the point. So it's a little adjustments that we make. It's all good. That was me. That's what needs to be fixed. The gain automation I was telling you about. So we'll bring this one up, bring this one down. It's cool that it pops out, but maybe not so much, just because then it fools the person into thinking that you're already there when you're not. It's kind of like going from talking to screaming, you know. That's the point, though, obviously. So it sounds pretty good. My family group chat is just going off right now. I'll have to play with some filter things on this intro right here. Like, there are some really cool things you can do if I bring in my EQ. Nope, it's gonna be down here. There we go. If I bring in the Q3, fantastic EQ plugin. I definitely recommend it if you have not gotten it. If I bring this in, because you can also that's sidechain right there, man. I need to sidechain that so bad. Excuse me. You can also kind of bring in these cool filter issues, and then what ends up happening is basically I cut a lot of low end off and a lot of high end off, and then oops, um, it just gives it this what we call the telephone kind of effect, and so it kind of sounds like you can kind of see on the spectrum where it falls, but then what I end up I'll cut a lot more high end out, so I'll do like this. So you've got a range of like 5,000 hertz, 250 to 5,000, and then what ends up happening is I move it. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I basically just move it, so it starts down low, and then as everything builds up, you know what I mean. Like, but you can automate it so that you don't have to worry about like sitting there and doing it while you're recording or something. A lot of that stuff I like to do in Pro Tools though, just because like I said, Pro Tools is a lot easier to work with, especially when it comes to automation. This automation menu is iffy. Super easy to just zoom in and zoom out on Pro Tools. But one of the buttons for zooming in and zooming out in Logic is the record button. So out of habit, I'll press R thinking I'm zooming out, and it starts recording, and I'm like, oh crap. But it's just a lot easier to work with stuff in Pro Tools than it is in Logic. But that doesn't mean you can't do stuff um, in Logic. You can certainly record, you can make beats, you can do all kinds of stuff in Logic. So it is, and it's more affordable. So that's my 2 cents. Here's kind of what the intro is. I think I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream session just with this intro. I'm going to work on the drums and the rest of the drop later. And then, follow me on on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll go ahead and, try and post the final product. Maybe I'll even post it on SoundCloud. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, I'm going to try and make these streams a weekly thing. Classes start back in mid-January for me, so I'll have to figure out how I can work it into my schedule, and in 3 weeks I'm leaving to go back home to my hometown in Maryland for Christmas. So I just have to see how it plays out. So just follow me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram. I'll post updates to there. That's at D Richter, and the E is actually the number 3. So DRICHT3R. It's all in the description. Subscribe to the channel. Like this stream, and I'll be back next week. And then also leave a comment if you want me to stream something else. I can stream video games. I do have an older set of games and stuff, but I know it's fun to just play around and maybe do a challenge or something. If somebody wants to challenge me to something, I can do a DJ live stream, although I'd have to do that on Twitch just due to copyright issues. And there's a lot of other stuff I can do. I can just keep producing if that's what you want to see. I mean, I have some people that I can probably try and get on like a Zoom call or something, and have a nice little podcast or something like that. But either way, let me know what you want to see, and I will try my best to do it. For now, I'm going to play this one more time, and then I will probably go ahead and end the stream. So thank you. I think there may have been like 2 of you total that tuned in, but thank you very much. I do appreciate it. We all got to start somewhere. So this track is, for now, it's called Rookie Year. So here's the beginning. And thank you very much. I will see you next week.